How's it going, everyone? Today I'll be using this Silk Justice deck to take on the Batroc scenario from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box on Heroic difficulty, as I continue my channel goal of trying to beat every scenario in the game on Heroic difficulty using a different hero. Now this deck is pretty well tuned towards the Batroc scenario. There's definitely a lot of changes I would make if I was just building a generic Silk deck. But the Batroc scenario is one you have to tackle in kind of a unique way due to the alert level environment. I'll talk about that a bit more when I do the scenario breakdown. But it essentially it punishes you for running allies, makes them cost essentially an effective resource more. So we're a little lighter on the allies for this deck. And we also have a ton of these vulnerable minions, which if we kill the vulnerable minions normally, they kind of add a 1 or 2 extra resource cost to killing them. Whereas if we discard them with a stunned or confused card, and thereby discarding them from the vulnerable keyword, it's significantly more efficient to do it that way. So you'll see several confuse effects. And if that weren't enough, we also have a different win condition in this scenario, which is to thwart down the main scheme. And there's 3 stages of the main scheme we have to thwart down progressively. So that's also made me build a deck that is more tuned to thwarting and really has very little in the way of damage. We might go this whole scenario without even attacking Batroc a single time. That would be totally not surprising if that happens. So Silk, brand new hero. Really fun. She's got this she's kind of like a counter hero, like some other ones like War Machine with the ammo counters or Groot with the growth counters. But her counters are encounter cards that get tucked under her, primarily from this response after we defeat a minion or side scheme or after we resolve a treachery card. So right away I know Silk is going to be one of my favorite heroes to play in Heroic because we see twice as many encounter cards every turn. That's twice as many cards to potentially get tucked under Silk, whether they're treacheries or just things that we defeat after they come out of the encounter deck. So the primary way to use her counters, her encounter cards, is to discard them in alter ego form to draw 2 cards. Tremendously high value ability, netting 2 cards, being able to do that, as we flip down, and then the turn as we flip into hero form. If we can do that every turn of the game, we'll roll right on to victory. That's just tremendous value. Some of her other cards give her additional uses. Organic webbing, you can discard a card to ready her. With wall crawl or swinging silk kick, you can discard a card matching the same encounter set as the scheme you're thwarting or the enemy you're attacking for a boosted ability. When I've seen when I've seen Silk in action in some standard or expert games, I feel like that it doesn't feel very good to do that just because being able to draw 2 on the alter ego side is so powerful. But I really think we're going to be flowing in cards tucked under Silk in this game, especially because of Heroic, just getting 2 cards every turn. I think there's plenty of room to use these abilities. So that's going to make Silk really fun to play in a solo Heroic game. The deck, there's not really a cohesive theme to the deck. It's just countering this scenario. So like I mentioned, we've got plenty of confuse effects. I think the big one to highlight is Quick Quip. This is a new card actually just from the Silk pack, where we deal 1 damage to a web warrior we control, place a total of 2 confused status cards on up to 2 enemies. So confusing Batroc is always going to be really strong. But then if we can put a second confused card on a vulnerable minion, that's going to be a great way to discard that minion. Or even in some of my practice games, I've put it on 2 minions in one action. So that's pretty nice. We've got Dazzler is another confuser. Banshee is a card that's really cracked against vulnerable minions, has the ability to thwart 3 times and confuse 3 minions. So he might just be a machine gun for these vulnerable minions. Mockingbird, allies in general they're not really worth it as blockers in this scenario. So because it'll put a counter on alert level effectively represents 1 extra resource we'll have to spend. Really, that's that's enough of a difference where the classic thought process of just allies are the best card types, a lot of that is because of just how efficient they are and using that ability to block. When you sort of take one resource of value away from that, they're kind of on par with all the other cards. So I'm not playing that many allies, but I am playing Mockingbird. That stun, being able to stun Batroc, prevent the counter that gets put on when he attacks, like that's worth an extra resource. Even if she never ends up blocking, I think she's still worth it. And then Spider-Man Peter Parker, very much worth it, just to activate 3 times, get 3 ready abilities. One way or another is nice in this scenario. There's a side scheme called Batroc's Brigade that's not too bad to get out, and in fact helps us a little bit to address some of the minions that can come out. So that can just help her get some more draw power. And then Impede is another card I'm really excited to play. This is a card that probably, I wouldn't be surprised if I never put this in a deck again for a heroic game. But it removes 3 threat from the main scheme, and if it's the first card you've played this round, return this card to your hand. So there's 2 things, or maybe 3 things I really like about this card. Or maybe not really like, but it's like I like it enough to justify it. 1, it costs 2, so it gives me more of an excuse to play Power of Justice. Something like clear the area, or multitasking, like they might be a little bit more efficient. But when you're able to pay for this with the Power of Justice, then it looks about the same as those 1-cost cards. It removes 3 threat, which is a really nice number in this scenario. So on main scheme 2, whenever we clear that, it's going to go back to 3, and we get a rescued captive until we want to advance it. So 3 is just a nice number to do maybe twice in the turn. And then also it just represents a high amount of threat removal. So when we're trying to end the game and there's 12 threat on scheme 3, like even if it's not the most efficient thing to do, it basically lets us turn our whole hand into just threat removal, which might just win the game at that point. So I think Impede is very justified in this matchup. We've got Overwatch, just always a solid card. Might help combo with one way or another. There's a 3 threat side scheme I can get, so put Overwatch on the main scheme, Impede the main scheme, kill the 3 threat side scheme. That's just a good combo. And then the rest are just some good value cards. Heroic Intuition, obviously this is just an important thwarting scenario. Organic Webbing gives extra readies. Peter gives extra readies, so I think Heroic Intuition can get some good value. Silk attacking is just not really going to be a part of this scenario that much, to be honest. So even though her thwart stat is a little weak, I think it's fine to buff it a little bit and get some value there. Sonic Rifle, another confuse effect, some resource generators, and there we go. I really like this matchup. I think Silk really wants to fight someone who allows you to go to alter ego form. Because main scheme 1 has a threshold of 12, we should be able to do that fairly easily, bringing it down to 1 or 2, even if Batroc draws an advance. Hopefully we don't lose. So that's kind of number 1. And second is her ability to defend. So there will come a time in the game and certain treacheries that cause Batroc to attack an ally specifically. So Silk can jump in for a defense, and with a stat of 3, we're pretty happy to do that in general. So that's how I've built the deck to fight against this scenario. Let's talk about the scenario a bit. So here's the Batroc scenario. I already talked about it quite a bit in my deck breakdown, went a little bit long, so try to make this a bit quicker. But like I mentioned, we've got 3 schemes to chew through. So we start with 6 threat, and we want to thwart it all the way to advance. Then we've got 3 threat. Every time we reduce it to 0, we get one of these rescued captive allies, which has thwart and attack, but also has this hero action to remove threat from the main scheme. And we can do that up to 4 times. But then whenever we want to, we can take 1 and advance right away, or we can get 4 and wait to advance. We go to main scheme 3. But we do have to be ready for it. It gives every minion quick strike, and then when an enemy attacks, it attacks a rescued captive instead. So if we only flip with 1, Batroc's going to start attacking that one, and if there are ever no rescued captive allies in play, the players lose the game. So we'll see what happens in the game. We might We might just get 1 and have enough threat where we can burst to the end, or maybe we'll get 2 to have a little insurance, or maybe we'll be in a really commanding position and just be really safe and get up to 4, and just try to eliminate our risk as much as we can. But then ultimately, we need to thwart this down from 12 to win the game. On top of that, we've got the alert level environment. So this is where after Batroc attacks, or after a character gets defeated except by consequential damage, we put a threat there. We'll start the game with 2 on. If it gets to 4, we flip it, at which point Batroc gets +1 scheme, +1 attack. A bunch of encounter cards get worse, and then if it gets to 4 again, we lose the game. On both sides, it does have a hero action that allows us to spend 1 resource of any type to remove threat from there. So we'll definitely do that over the course of the game to mitigate that. We don't lose if it flips from low to high. When we go to main scheme 3, it flips to high. If it's already at high, we get an encounter card. So we would like to avoid that. We also would like to avoid Batroc getting +1 scheme and +1 attack. But it's not the end of the world if it flips, but I'm still going to try to play to get it to not flip. Here's some of those vulnerable minions: 2 of the Embassy Guard, 2 of the Embassy Patrol. Their when defeated ability places extra threat on alert level, so highly incentivized to discard them due to vulnerable. Extra activations, always got to watch out for those. 2 copies of Leaping Kick, Alter Ego he schemes. In Hero, he attacks the ally with the most remaining hit points. So that threatens putting 2 threat on alert level, 1 from the attack, 1 from killing an ally. That's where Silk is really going to come in nice, being able to defend that attack if that comes up. Security cameras is definitely a card to be aware of. In Alter Ego, this actually helps you. Remove 1 threat from alert level, and this card gains Surge. In hero form, for each character we have either exhaust it or place a threat on alert level. So one slight way to game the scenario bit is actually to leave 1 or 2 threat on alert level as you go into Alter Ego form. That way this can give you some value in removing that threat before surging. But also just important to be aware of extra ways that threat can be put on there, and so the hero ability is, or the hero effect is one way that can happen. Since we're playing one way or another, good to take a peek at the side schemes we've got. Commandeer Security Office is a pretty nice one. Only 3 threat, and when defeated, we remove a threat from alert level, so that can actively help us. Batroc's Brigade is simply not that bad. It gives each minion toughness, but a lot of these minions have vulnerable, so we're going to discard them not with damage. And it gives us this extra ability when we reveal a non-elite minion, spend 3 resources of any type to cancel its effects and discard it. So that's actively helping us. You can imagine some of these minions might take more than 3 resources effectively of value to defeat. So that could be really nice. And then we've got the AIM Science mod as well. 3 of these AIM Soldiers, which spawn the AIM Scientist, the AIM Scientist itself, so kind of effective 4 more vulnerable minions. One of the mercenaries here is vulnerable, so obviously just massive value going to come from those stun and confuse effects in our deck. So there we go. Yep, talked about the game plan a lot already just with the deck, so let's get into the game. So starting things off, we've got the rescued captives set aside. Alert level is in play on the low side, and in expert mode, it starts with 2 threat on it. And then the main scheme here starts with 6 threat, which gives us good stuff to do turn 1. But that is pretty close to advancing already, so definitely would like to thwart that a little bit. Otherwise, it's in a range where we could lose to an advance right away. So we've got our basic activation. I mean, nothing else to really use our basic activation for turn 1 outside of a thwart. But especially by the time we want to flip back to Alter Ego, hopefully we've done some good work on there. So alert level starting with 2 threat is something we might want to spend some resources on the first turn as well. Assuming we go to hero form, Batroc is going to attack, which would put a 3rd on, and then it would just take 1 more attack, or security cameras. I guess security cameras doesn't necessarily force a threat on, but it would just take 1 more attack to put it to 4. So very motivated to remove one threat from there, might even remove two if that's how the cards shake out. All right, and let's start it off. Okay. So these are easy mulligans. So Outwit is a decent card here. It's maybe not the best turn one. I think the best turn one things to see would be like Banshee is just a really good card in this scenario. Deft Focus, Ingenuity, Peter Parker. I think this Outwit isn't quite going to be good for a while. We need to get some cards tucked under us first. J. Jonah Jameson is interesting. Like, he's a good value card, but honestly, right, especially, I mean, on turn one, we can get the scoop in play, but that's not really giving us any tempo. Eidetic Memory is interesting. Again, it's kind of like Outwit, where I just don't have, I won't have stuff tucked under me right away. I'd just rather get something that's going to be good turn one. I'll keep a Power of Justice. Obviously just a high upside card, assuming I get a Justice card to play. Okay, interesting hand. Not really any setup cards outside of, I guess, Heroic Intuition. This is kind of funny. I can I could get a I could rescue a captive right away here. I could go Impede, bounce back, Impede to advance. It advances, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, it doesn't start with 3. Oh, it does start with 3. I know it goes back up to 3 when we clear it. And then I could wall crawl for 2 and thwart the last one. That would be pretty funny. That's kind of, I almost want to do that just to see what happens. The more conservative play would be Heroic Intuition and set up an Overwatch to get ready for a side scheme. But once we get that captive, I mean, it can start doing some thwarting too. I'm going to do this. This is going to be funny. We might crash and burn here fast, but this will be a unique game for sure. I guess that doesn't involve doing any threat on alert level either. Yeah, I just really want to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to Impede, remove 3 threat. Since this is the first card I've played this round, it comes back to hand. Then I'll pay 1 for Wall Crawl, removing 2 threat from here, and then Silk will remove the last one. So when the last threat is removed there, we advance to stage 2A, nothing special happens. And now this comes in with 3. So I will Impede that. When the last threat is removed here, we put 1 rescued captive exhausted under our control. And we may go to stage 3A if they do not place 3 threat here. So I'm definitely not equipped to go to that stage yet. And end the turn. So hero action on there, exhaust to remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Pretty bad hand here as well. Can always put resources towards alert level though. 1 threat on the main scheme. Batroc attacks, just going to take it. So 2 plus a boost of 0 is nice. We put 1 threat on alert level and then 2 encounter cards. Leaping Kick, Batroc attacks the ally with the most remaining hit points. So I will defend for our ally friend here. but it is going to flip alert level. So this comes in for 2 plus 0 again. That's going to put us up to 4 threat and flip to high alert. And then this is a treachery, so we'll tuck it under. And then aim soldier is going to put aim scientist into play with us. Okay, well, that was not great. Although, I mean, I took that risk. So we'll do the rescued captive action to remove a threat from the main scheme. Not going to be able to do anything about either minion here. I think I just need to get to Alter Ego. I need to get some cards. Try to do something this turn. I mean, we're going to put 2 on, 5 plus a boost. Yeah, can I stay? I can stay, it's just I get so much more value if I flip down. I mean, that's always the case, right? More value if we flip down, more immediate loss potential. Patrol, I think, is just, I can't thwart the main scheme, so determination can still remove a threat from it. All right, let's try one more turn in hero form. If I draw like a quick quip or something, that would be a good excuse to go down. So let's pay 2 for Spider Reflexes. Since I've got a Batroc card here, it is actually going to give me +1 defense when I defend. Then we'll pay 2, which is including a determination, to bring that down to 2 for Albert Moon. Yeah, flipping down is worth like +5 cards, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it's going to go up to 4, 7 plus a boost, and then 2 scheme, 2 advances, 1 leaping kick to lose. Well, I guess if I was going to flip, I shouldn't. I would take back some of these plays. Okay, I'm going to roll with this. I mean, yeah, we lose to like a boost of 3 anyways. I don't know. We'll see. There's a quick quip. So 2 threat on the main scheme because of aim scientist. Batroc attacks, and I will just defend this. I'll exhaust Spider Reflexes, so she'll get +1 defense. Attack for 3. Oh, a boost of 3. Okay, so I would have just lost if I flipped down. Very, very prescient of me. So as it is, this attack is coming in for 6. I defended for 4, so I'll take 2. Then this gets tucked because of Spider Reflexes. Aim Soldier attacks for 2. Batroc attacked, so we get 1 counter there. 2 encounter cards. There is the leaping kick, so I would have super lost there. So Batroc is going to attack rescued captive. I can't defend for it anymore, so that's just going to happen for 3 plus a boost of 0, luckily, so it does not die. But we put another counter there, tuck this. And Batroc's Brigade is actually not that bad. It's going to give a tough to all enemies. And minions will gain toughness, and then whenever a minion enters a non-elite minion, we can spend 3 resources to cancel that minion and discard it. So the aim soldier is going to be a little annoying. But it doesn't matter for aim scientist, it doesn't really matter for Batroc. So in the scheme of encounters we could have drawn, it's really not that bad. Eventually we'll get the spider claws to get some piercing attacks. Rescued captive could also like throw a damage in there if I needed to. All right, yeah, this is going to be a really nice turn. All right. The only awkward thing is if I draw in alter ego form, pretty low chance I get something I can play, because I want to spend my whole hand here in hero form. I think aim soldier is going to stop rescued captive from doing this. I would need to double check the patrol rules. Because I mean, guard, I hope it's not a weird you situation where you, if it says you cannot thwart the main scheme, you know, then maybe an ally still could. I'm just going to say I can't. So what I could do is I could spend 2 resources to burn here. Then I get a use for my draw. I don't get to ready Silk an extra time this turn. But that might be a reasonable exchange. If I bring this to 0, I don't get to take advantage of any security cameras that I might draw. I'm not like overflowing in tucked cards right now. So I don't mind not getting to use this right away. Sure, okay. So I'm going to do the hero action on alert level twice. I'm going to play Quick Quip, so deal 1 damage to a web warrior. Obviously we got a mental there with Genius. Confuse 2 enemies. I'll confuse aim scientist to discard it, and Batroc for obviously good value. So I could have rescued captive attack off this tough, but just assuming that'll happen because of spider claws at some point. Yeah, I'm not in a rush to use this 4th hit point. I mean, that's kind of, she'll get to attack or thwart normally once for as long as I have her. So flip down. Albert to heal equal to the number of tucked cards I have, which is 3. We'll discard. So this is tricky because I want to keep the Batroc cards under here. But if I somehow keep Expert out of the deck, if it were to reshuffle, that would be amazing. It's got to go through the whole deck again, though, and that's going to be a long time. So I think I'll just ditch Under Fire to draw 2 cards. Well, speaking of the spider claws, there they are. So that might just be better than organic webbing. Organic webbing kind of represents another way to get rid of tufts because it gives an extra way of readying. think I'm going to go with the spider claws. And end the turn. Nice stuff there. Ingenuity plus a 4-cost card. Oh, I guess I'd be drawing as well, though. Okay, 1 on the main scheme. Batroc Confused. Aim Soldier schemes for 1. I don't know if I said that. I guess it's a little bit close. I mean, in advance we lose, but we've seen 1 advance in both leaping kicks, so relatively unlikely. So, okay. Embassy Guard is going to surge into another Aim Soldier, which will get Aim Scientist back. And there's the advance, so we do lose. Actually, we don't. Because Batroc's scheming for 3, and we drew a boost of 0. So either spend 1 resource of any type, or this card gains 3 boost icons. So we will spend a resource. Just double check that here, because I went to 4, went up to 5, Aim Soldier went up to 6. Batroc schemes for 3 plus 0, which is 9. So, okay. Yeah, I think this is right. So lucked out there quite a bit, and now we are, for sure, done with advances. But we've got a lot of minions that I can't deal with. So let's, I want to heal for 2 with Albert. Oh, and these all have toughness. So I need to clear both patrol minions and thwart the main scheme. Okay, I think I just need to heal for the minions that I might not be able to deal with. So heal for 2. Discard Leaping Kick to draw 2. Ooh, one way or another could be the kind of tempo I need. So do I play Genius before flipping? I don't know if I can afford to. I need to draw something that gives me more damage. Oh, I can get, okay, I can smooth as silk to tuck an Aim Science card. Then I can one-shot one of these Aim Soldiers with Cindy. But for another one, I need multiple attacks. Yeah, I just don't think I can actually play Ingenuity. So we'll flip, well, one way or another. Commandeer Security Office. Can't find my 3s. Oh, sorry, this is revealed. So it would get an acceleration token. I can't get the other one because I think that's the only AIM Science card left. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to clear that. But I needed something to try to let me thwart the main scheme. Okay, draw 3. Okay, Mockingbird's interesting. Mockingbird is another attack. Okay, so we'll Smooth as Silk, AIM Scientist. Jeez. Through almost the whole deck. This is tucked. Almost put it into play for a second. So now I will attack with Piercing and +1. AIM Soldier. Enemy dying puts a threat on alert level. Okay, yep, perfect. Didn't even do this math, I was kind of just hoping it would work. But I've got 3 for Mockingbird and 4 for Dazzler. So let's pay 3 for Mockingbird. And stun no, I'm not going to clear the main scheme. Yeah, because I can do that, but then I don't have anything left over to do on the main scheme. All right, good attempt, game 1. Might need to get something in the deck to help deal with these AIM Soldiers, because I think those are going to be problematic. I have a very thwart-heavy deck. So let's try again in game 2. Okay, I did not make any changes to the deck for now. I remembered I had that really ambitious turn 1 play, which might not have set me up for success. So I think, those AIM soldiers are, I forget what they're called. I don't think they're that big of a problem. It wouldn't have been as much a problem if Batroc's brigade wasn't out. But I guess my plan is to one way or another for those anyways. But I should just, well, for one thing, I should be able to live in a space where if I stay on main scheme 1, I can keep more margin on the main scheme. So there may be, I don't have as much rush to defeat the patrol minion. If I get Peter Parker, like obviously he's going to help a lot to kill those minions. If I just get any kind of setup on turn 1 and make it so that I can flip safely down turn 2, that should be enough, hopefully, to ride to victory. Got a slightly unlucky flip of the alert level as well, but that was kind of baked in to the aggressive route that I took. Okay. So I think I want to keep Banshee. I think Banshee is just one of the best cards for this scenario. And I might just look for double resources outside of that. Well, some nice cards here, but I think I want to just get off to a higher tempo start with double resources. All right, unfortunately can't do Ingenuity into Banshee. I could do Ingenuity into Heroic Intuition and discard one card from alert level. I kind of like the sound of that. I mean, I've got plenty of ways to confuse in the deck, even though Banshee is the best. I mean, we've got the quick quips. And the resource generator is very strong as well. So let's try this here. Pay 2 for Ingenuity, since Cindy is a genius. Pay 2 for Heroic Intuition. Flip, thwart for 2. Spend a resource, take away a threat, and end the turn. Dazzler could confuse Batroc. All right, 1 threat on the main scheme. Batroc attacks, just going to take it. 2 plus 2 is 4. I'll put a threat on alert level, 2 encounter cards. A good friend, the AIM Soldier, will find AIM Scientist. I just didn't see it. There it is. And then security cameras for each character. Either exhaust it or place 1 threat on alert level. So is my basic activation worth 1 resource, essentially? Let's map out the turn a little bit. So I can play Albert Moon plus Dazzler, which is a really nice turn. Two for Albert, draw 2 in Alter Ego plus Ingenuity for Dazzler. If I let myself attack with Silk, I could take out one of these guys. But if I don't exhaust, there would be 3 threat there, so then that doesn't actually look that good. Okay, I think I just need to exhaust. And this is a treachery, so that'll get tucked, which is really good, actually. All right, let's pay 2 for Albert. Flip down. Let's have Albert tuck a card. Just give me another option. I'd like to keep a Batroc card, I think. Yeah, it's not really relevant to hang on to a standard card. So we'll untuck Assault to draw 2. And yeah, I think Dazzler is still the best. Pay 4 for Dazzler. I think I'm close enough to losing where I just need to confuse Batroc. AIM Scientist being out keeps keeps a quick quip target on the board. And then we'll attack the aim soldier for 2. So Cindy Moon could Silk could finish him off next turn. All right, so 2 threat on the main scheme because of aim scientist. Batroc is confused. Aim soldier schemes for 1. So, well, yeah, I guess. Well, I might not lose 2 in advance. Okay, Commandeer Security Office is not that bad. And Embassy Patrol. Another patrol minion. If alert level is on its high side, this gains Insight 1. When defeated, place 1 threat on alert level. But of course, we'll hope to get around that with the vulnerable. All right, that was a pretty good turn overall. Just don't think there's enough value for healing for 1 with Albert compared to just tucking a card. Health total is a little precarious. Don't want to recover though, because I want to attack and kill the aim soldier. I think I will heal for 1. I think I'm going to have plenty of cards the rest of the game. If I draw like Wall Crawl, I'm really gonna wish I had kept a card. But I'm gonna get that. Oh, but I have to remove from the same set. Okay, I'm gonna tuck a card. Nice one to get off the top. Would have been a big boost. And then we'll untuck that to draw 2. Ooh. Mockingbird could be nice. I think Wall Crawl is probably the best draw. I guess Dazzler can thwart. Dazzler plus me thwarting is pretty good. All right, done in Alter Ego. Let's attack and finish aim soldier. To get that patrol out of there. Or sorry, just to get him out of the way before I get the Batroc Brigade side scheme. All right, then we'll one way or another get the Batroc Brigade. So give each enemy a tough status. Draw 3 cards. Kind of some clankers, but you can always dump resources into this, so I think I'll still have fine turn. Yeah. Yeah, this is, oh yeah, this is looking really good. Because my health total is a little precarious, but if this is down to like 0, I can always throw 1 or 2 allies for a block. So we will use Power of Justice to play Quick Quip. Only thing to spend Power of Justice on, so might as well. Take 1 damage, we'll confuse. This is actually interesting. Do I just confuse Batroc anyways? Let's just get these out of here. Let's keep it clean. Confuse both those guys, discard them. I guess maybe I'm just wasting a double. Well, I'm wasting another one of these doubles, which is always a little awkward. Alright, spend 3 for Mockingbird, including Determination, which will remove a threat from the main scheme. Stun Batroc. Skilled Investigator. Overwatch the main scheme. Dazzler thwarts the main scheme for 2. We'll trigger Overwatch to hit this for 2. Just gonna have Mockingbird finish it off. I'm not gonna be able to tuck it, but I think I'm gonna be good with tucked cards for a while. Or at least I'd rather just get the tempo of defeating this. So when defeated, that removes 1 threat from alert level. Oh, and Skilled Investigator draws a card. Oh, yeah, that's the aforementioned tempo. Pay 1 for Eidetic Memory. And then these are the ones that are kind of a waste. I could play out, get the scoop. I could just hold on to this double, which could be nice. If I draw a Quick Quip, it would be good. Got the Spider Claws in the deck. Still got the double energy in the deck. Might be discarding minions with this, though. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I just really don't think Get the Scoop is that strong or important. So I'll pay 2 resources to remove 2 threat from alert level. Keep Genius in hand, and end the turn. Feeling pretty okay about everything. I think 1 more cycle of being able to go in and out of Alter Ego is gonna be huge. Okay, kind of an awkward hand, but this is where Impede can actually shine a little bit. Just gives you a place to spend a lot of resources. So 1 threat on the main scheme. Batroc is stunned, and 2 encounter cards. Mad Science. I could Eidetic Memory to put Aim Soldier out there. Oops, I just forgot you already. Doesn't seem very good. It's a side scheme that I can beat with Skilled Investigator out. Yeah, I'll just keep that one. And then Security Cameras. So I could afford to put some threat on alert level. I think I'll exhaust Mockingbird for sure. If I want to clear Mad Scientist, I basically need to thwart with Silk and Dazzler. turn is just not looking good overall unless I draw some better things to do in Alter Ego. In which case, maybe I just thwart the main scheme instead of this. Well, I am impeding, I guess. Okay, so maybe I don't even clear this right now. Oh, okay. And we're about to go to Alter Ego with eidetic memory and security cameras in the chamber. Because I actually don't want to impede this twice, because I don't think I want to advance yet. Maybe I could. Maybe I could advance. But then my margin is 7, whereas if I get this down to 1, my margin's 11, which is a lot more. Very small consideration for if I use Dazzler, we'll get her back in the reshuffle. I think I either do both or none. I think I'm gonna do none. Sure, okay. I'm gonna do none and put 2. You know what? There's sometimes okay, I'm gonna do 2. Oh, and this gets tucked. Okay. So I'm gonna have Dazzler and Silk clear Mad Science. So this will get tucked up to 4. We'll draw with Skilled Investigator. And honestly, I can, if I'm really concerned, I can just quick quip, even though it's a little inefficient. But I'm going to start off with an impede. It'll bounce back to hand as the first card. Yeah, even once I draw 2 cards, it's pretty unlikely that lets me spend all these resources. So I'm going to play something else. Probably is going to be quick quip. If I draw Peter Parker, that would be the absolute best thing to draw. Honestly, I wouldn't even love using Peter Parker right away, because I wouldn't be able to ready a Web Warrior character. So I know I've got the Spider Claws left in the deck. No Overwatches. No Quick Quips, no Impedes. Maybe a Wall Crawl is still in there. Yeah, we got a Wall Crawl in there. So what did I say so far? Wall Crawl, Spider Claws, Peter. No one way or another. I think there's another Swinging Silk Kick in there. So Spider Claws would be something I'd be interested in leaving 2 resources in hand for. Okay, I think I am going to quick quip this. I'm in a really good place. I just need to like not lose. So okay, here's 2 for quick quip. Deal a damage, confuse. If I wanted to just not take any chances, I could impede and then remove 2 counters from there. If I do draw Peter, it's unlikely I have the perfect resources to play him. Okay, I kind of like impede here. Impede and advance. Get a rescued captive going. Shouldn't scheme out, so we're fine there. Okay, we'll pay 2 for an impede. So advance the main scheme. Oh no, sorry. I guess I don't get a rescued captive right away, but we're just progressing and using resources. Okay, I think this is a good middle ground here. Let's spend 1 resource to remove 1 threat from here. Still leave ourselves open to security camera value. Then I'm going to flip down, heal for 4 with Albert. Discard Mad Science to draw 2. So if we did hit the claws, we would have had a play there. So as it is, I could have removed 1 more threat here. I'm not going to cry about it. So last cards are the claws, Peter, and something I'm forgetting. If I could remember what that last thing is, and if I knew whether it had a energy resource on it, that would inform maybe what I keep. But I think I just mulligan everything. Get those doubles back, get the quick quips back. I mean, wall crawl is just very good. Wall crawl would help really get, you know what, let's do that. Let's keep a wall crawl. But swinging silk kicks don't have much value in this matchup. So end the turn. Outwit was the last one. Doesn't have a mental. Okay, 1 card for going through the deck. Nice, got a wild resource to play Peter with. One threat on the main scheme, Batroc Confused. 2 more encounter cards for a total of 3. Gang Up's gonna Surge. Obligation, okay, could be annoying there. Soldiers of Fortune. Either find a mercenary to reveal, or spend 3 resources of any type. I'd rather spend 3 resources. So the question is, which ones? I think Jonah. Looking at this, Wall Crawl kind of works nicely with the count of cards I'm going to have left. Maybe I won't need the Spider Claws here. Outwit might be a little greedy. Well, if I'm doing this, I probably don't play either. Spider Claws, okay, I actually do need that physical resource. So we'll spend these 3 resources. Okay, Leaping Kick is gonna be a scheme. I can't lose, but this could be worth a swap with security cameras. Oh wait, I completely didn't do what I said I was gonna do. No, okay, I was gonna keep Wall Crawl because of the resource count. So 1, 2, 3 was spent for that. So yeah, I said I was gonna do that. I'm not doing it just because I see that he's scheming. Just like it, if we do flip it into something worse, it's gonna feel so bad. It's gonna go up to 6 plus a boost. It does get a card under Silk Sense, which helps me get rid of that faster. I think I just don't risk it. I think I'm in such a good position. Every turn that goes by, I'm going to be even more equipped to deal with the worst encounter cards. Have seen Under Fire already. Shadow of the Past is probably the only card I would really beat myself up about. Maybe some of the mercenaries as well would be kind of rough. I'm just going to let this happen. So scheme for 2 plus boost of 0. Always rewarded for those decisions. That's actually kind of funny. We would have just hit advance anyways and gotten a free counter removed there. So okay, back to me. I want to keep the 1 aim science card under here still, just in case I do end up playing the claws. So let's untuck security cameras. Sorry, before I do that, am I going to heal or am I going to use Albert? I think I'm going to use Albert to try to get rid of this. I'm at 8, which is pretty good. Okay, I'm going to have Albert tuck a card. Silk Sense Overload interrupts that, and we'll tuck it under here instead. Once it gets to 2, we can discard that. Once it gets to 3, we could remove it from the game. Okay, now let's untuck. This doesn't stop me from untucking anything. No. Untuck a card to draw 2. So double resource. So that does give me the option to play the Spider Claws now if I want, instead of Wall Crawl. And I think I like that. It's just going to help me be more equipped to answer those minions, which would be a serious speed bump when they come out. It's not a huge rush on the main scheme, yeah. Pay 2 for Spider Claws. Then pay 1 of each resource for Peter Parker. Flip. Thwart for 2. Thwart for 2. Maybe save Mockingbird. Don't think my ally slots are in a huge rush. 1 more advance, we shouldn't lose. Oh, did I ready myself there? No, because the advance scheme does from 4 up to 6. No, I just forgot to ready myself. So in that case, I will thwart for 2. Get a rescued captive, and put this back to 3. Nice. Okay, now that I actually will thwart for 1. And end the turn. Oh geez, 3 quick whips. 1 threat on the main scheme. Batroc attacks. I could defend here. Same old argument of why not just wait and recover. If I don't exhaust myself, we could win this turn. Double impede plus what I have on board is enough threat to win. So let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, attack comes in for 2. Yep, 2 plus a boost of 2. 1 threat on alert level. 2 encounter cards. That's... Is it that bad? So, okay. Here's 3. That flips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, did I just count like an idiot? 3 makes it flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, so I don't even have enough. I must have thought I could use the rescued captive right away. Okay, well, I think almost everyone's going to get exhausted here. So now there's just actually no rush. Exhaust, exhaust. Yeah, I mean, there's no rush at all. If I get attacked again, I need to defend. So I think I don't exhaust Silk. but I'll exhaust Peter, and I'll put 1 threat on alert level. Yes, okay. This gets tucked, so now I could discard this, being at 2, or I can wait to get a 3rd. I think it's honestly not a terrible encounter card, especially at this point in the game, and we might not even get to it again. So I'm just gonna discard it. Aim Soldier, gonna reveal Aim Scientist. Okay. I'm going to pause and get this data off my phone because I've still got the data from the first match, so I'll shuffle when I get back. See you in a second. Okay, back at it here. Did notice in the break I forgot to put some tough statuses on these guys because Batroc's Brigade is still in play. Do my usual shuffle so that you don't suspect me of stacking the deck or anything during the cut. So I was thinking about this turn a little bit. I think we've got a pretty nice sequence of, I'll start by attacking this, or sorry, I might spend a resource first here on alert level. Yep, we'll spend 1 resource to remove 1 threat from alert level. Then we'll attack the Aim Soldier, exhausting Spider Claws. Since we've got 1 Aim Science card tucked, this is going to be an attack for 3 with Piercing. So that will take out the Aim Soldier. Defeating a character will put a threat on alert level. Now before I've played any cards, I've got Ingenuity +1 for Impede, which will remove 3 threat from the main scheme. And am I advancing it here? If we advance, it's 6 away from popping. I'm gonna get it confused, but I'm not doing any more threat removal. So I think I just leave it for now. So put it back to 3, we'll get 1 rescued captive. And then we will quick quip, including a science resource. Deal 1 damage to a web warrior. Confuse Batroc and confuse Aim Scientist, which will just discard it. So with that, and with a confusion and some margin here, I think we're good to flip down, possibly get the win next turn. I'll use Albert to heal for 3. And I just don't think there's a good use to discarding 2 cards here. So I'll hang on to all the cards. I think especially if we see an Impede, that's kind of the one card that gives us a good chance of going through. Or Wall Crawl, which I didn't see any. Didn't see either of those. So 1 threat on the main scheme, Batroc. Confused. 2 encounter cards. There is Shadow of the Past. Nothing I can do about that. Don't have a standard card to swap it with from Under Cindy Moon. So see how much that slows us down now. We've got Morlin, The Great Hunt will get 1 additional threat for each card tucked under each identity. So that's going to be 3 extra threat for a total of 5. And then we shuffle in these Hunting the Spider Bites. Moreland is going to get a Tough. And then we've got a Caught Off Guard. So, I mean, Skilled Investigator is always pretty easy to discard. Eidetic Memory could be a little worse, though. Because at least Skilled Investigator is a guaranteed card. I might not use Eidetic Memory this game. Okay, if I did have enough, or sorry, let's finish resolving that. Could even think about Heroic Intuition, but no, probably not. Not with Spider-Man out. Yeah, I'm going to discard Eidetic Memory. Like, these cards aren't so much better to see than what than the cards from their same sets. All right, let's start with a draw and see what we get. Do I want to heal first? Yes, let's heal for 3 first. And we'll discard a Named Soldier to draw 2. Okay, Wall Crawl is really nice. Does that let me win? One, 2, 3, 4, advance to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. Looks like we got it. Sweet. Okay, flip. This doesn't slow me down. This doesn't slow me down. When we flip, we're going to go to, this is going to go to high, but that doesn't do anything. So, okay. Thwart for 2, and ready. So we'll get a Rescued Captive, and we'll advance this time. So if the alert level is on its high side, deal each player a face-down encounter card. Otherwise, remove all threat from it. Flip it to its high side. In either case, put 2 threat on alert level. And this is going to come in with 12. In Expert mode, each minion gains Quick Strike. If there's no threat here, the players win the game. So let's try to do that. Thwart for 1, 2, 3, hero actions, 4, 5, from 12 down to 7. We'll go for Wall Crawl, discarding a Batroc card so that we can remove 5 threat down to 2. And then we'll pay 4 for Dazzler, confusing an enemy, and thwarting for the final 2 for the win. All right, sweet. Really fun scenario. I mean, I just love Batroc overall. Fun scenario to tech against. I mean, the quick quips were really clutch. Impede had a really good Impede turn as well. So always super fun to use those lesser used cards against a scenario where they can really shine. That's always one of my favorite parts about these heroic matchups. Even though some you might not like kind of teching to the scenario this much, it makes for really fun and interesting games. So yeah, there we go. Silk very strong as well. Just being able to draw those 2 cards every turn. Heroic, obviously really fun being able to put even more stuff under her than usual, just to really get that consistent churn of cards while going to Alter Ego form. Plenty of confuses to allow us to go to Alter Ego form without losing, even if it was a little inefficient, like that quick quip turn where I only hit Batroc. But being able to draw all those cards and use Albert just set me up really well to continue on to the victory there. Thanks for watching. Next games will be, I guess I might do another game with Black Panther, just because that match that I showed in my latest video didn't really get to show her off all that much. But outside of that, we'll wait for Winter Soldier and Falcon. And plan to have Falcon take on Black Widow, since he kind of just interacts hilariously with her scenario mechanic of manipulating the top card of the encounter deck. So should be a fun one there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.